In 2016, the toughest of the Grand Tours was the Vuelta a Espana. The Vuelta, which had become regarded as the least important of the three Grand Tours, would often have riders drinking post-stage, like Andy Schleck, so they decided to make a drastic change and up the difficulty of the stages and entire event, resulting in a better race, better drama, and more required viewing. The 2016 edition, in particular, was must-see TV as soon as the race route was announced, with a whopping 10 summit finishes on deck. Then, once a rider lineup was released, everyone was ready to watch. On the start line was Chris Froome, fresh off of winning the Tour de France, aiming to be just the third rider to pull off the Tour of Vuelta double. Finishing third at that same Tour de France was Nairo Quintana, who's become Froome's main rival. The diminutive Colombian is aiming to take the top step in Madrid, as is Alberto Contador. Contador had to abandon the Tour with a fever, but the Spaniard should be in good form for his home race, hoping to add one more Grand Tour win to his resume as his career starts to wind down. There is still a week to go in the Vuelta, but the peloton is already very, very tired. Right now, Quintana is leading the race, with a 54-second gap over Froome, which isn't enough. Looming on the horizon is the time trial, a stage where Froome could erase a gap of over a minute in the blink of an eye. This means that every mountain stage until then is a needed opportunity for Quintana and for Contador. Sure, Contador may be 3 minutes down, but the Spaniard is a gambler, and there are going to be many chances for him to risk everything. After a brutal stage 14, and with 2 days left until a rest day, stage 15 seemed like it'd be a day of relief, which is hilarious to say when you look at the actual stage profile. Quote, "I was disappointed from the day before. I was studying the roadbook. The stage didn't look hard on paper, but at the end of the Vuelta, everyone's legs were getting tired. I wasn't interested in finishing second." Then there were those that were in the know about the course. Quintana's teammate, Rory Sutherland, went out to explore the course. Quote, "It was a late start that day, and we decided to ride to the start from our hotel. My teammate said, quote, 'I'm going to recon the circuit,' and I joined him. I was glad we did, because we told the guys it's going to be a hard start. It's time to see just how hard stage 15 is." We're just 2 kilometers into the race, and Froome is in the back of the peloton. This was a mistake. See, the opening 20 kilometers included hilly, windy country lanes over rough pavement on roads barely wide enough for the team cars. The first attacks began coming, fast and furious, as the peloton hit a climb just 3 kilometers into the stage. All hell broke loose. Quote, "We warmed up on the trainers, we were hydrated, and we were ready to roll. I was on the start line behind Contador, and Froome was right next to him. And in 10 minutes, the race was completely upside down." The first protagonist of the day was Gianluca Brambilla from Quick-Step. Quote, "I was the first to attack, and Contador went straight with me. I was surprised to see him there, and we immediately rode full gas. I was only thinking about the stage." Contador is betting like crazy here on the fact that Team Sky can't organize and that he could rocket up the standings. Quote, "I wasn't so optimistic at the start because the climbs didn't seem that difficult, but I attacked like crazy. Quote, "I saw Contador move and I immediately followed him. You could feel the pain in your legs from the effort the day before." The gap between the Quintana and Froome group is only 13 seconds apart. Then it's 14, 15, 16. Froome only has one teammate, David Lopez, with him in the second chase group. The rest of Team Sky is at the back of the race. Orica and Astana tried to help, but the margin grew to 1 minute and then 2. There was no bringing the team back. Quote, "It was mayhem. After 60 kilometers, it was like, what just happened? What is happening?" Happily for us, the shoe was on the good foot. We all knew this could work out pretty well, and it did. That made the Vuelta. Alejandro Valverde was in the Froome chase group. Quote, "Both us and Tinkoff worked together to take advantage of the situation. Once a gap opened, I was always on Froome's wheel, trying to make him nervous. And when he would sit up after taking a turn, I would go so hard at the front so he could never recover." Froome was, without a shadow of a doubt, absolutely screwed. Behind, Team Sky has thrown in the towel. The undefeatable Team Sky completely waylaid by plans they couldn't possibly imagine. Quote, "As a team, we were distraught about what was happening up the road. We felt hopeless in that group, and you know you're not going to come back to the front." Just 8 kilometers into the race, everything changed. With 30 kilometers left in the stage, Froome is trying to barter for support, to organize any sort of chase, but help isn't coming. Even on the final climb, Froome can't do his usual go to the front, ride everyone else off the wheel. He's having to go from wheel to wheel, follow instead of lead. He is losing any chance at winning the Vuelta. Meanwhile, up the road, Nairo Quintana is in full flight, commanding the front of the race with the ease and confidence of a rider completely in his element. The high mountains are made for him, and the Colombian is putting on a masterclass at control and poise under pressure. When he launches his attack, it's devastating. Only Brambilla manages to catch on, his legs just fresh enough to hang with Quintana's brutal acceleration. Behind him, Alberto Contador, the man who lit the match and sparked this entire move, has already paid the price. He'd emptied himself earlier, animating the race with a kind of aggressive, all-or-nothing style that would define his career. Now, he's fading. Quintana would have won the stage, but it was he who truly triumphed. On this day, he didn't just defend the red jersey, he ended up winning the Vuelta. Contador also didn't leave with the victory, but he left with something else. A growing respect of fans who will always remember him as a rider who raced with heart, with fire, and with determination. Quote, "It was a big bet. It delivered a grand spectacle. You cannot always win, but days like these help build the fan base. In the end, my legs cramped up because I pulled too much at the start. But if I hadn't done that, maybe we would have gotten caught." That day upended the Vuelta and gave Quintana the padding he needed to survive the time trial and win his second Grand Tour by a margin of 1 minute and 23 seconds. The stage also reconfirmed that short, fluid mountain stages can pack plenty of punch, and it proved that Froome was vulnerable. Quote, "Pulling off something like that was special, and I will never forget it. We took more gains that day than I did in all the big mountains. It was the key to winning the Vuelta." This is the beauty of Grand Tour racing, that anything can happen on any day, and a reminder of how exciting it is when riders take risks and throw caution out the window.